It's within you, and it's everybody you meet and these new friends, and some of them you see once a year and for a week, and then you're gone. But Eduardo Leon and his family have done such a brilliant job putting this event on and making it feel like a family event, and everybody looks forward to it. The Leons have become good friends, and it's just it's everybody's together in this. And you break down, somebody will help you. They break down, we help them. We're glad to do it. We're on a stage in this event where we're low on gas, and some guy brings us gas, and we borrow it and pay it back when they need gas. It's just one of these things where everybody is in it together. Whoever wins, as I say, Mr. Ferrari will not be calling Monday morning. We're here for a great time.
It's my personal Christmas. It's my biggest time of the year. Visiting my family, watching at my friends, making new jokes to my friends, being able to be inside the car, and even though you feel really tired at the end of the day, you are looking for a plan with your friends. Where are we gonna grab dinner? What's the plan for tonight? And talking about your experiences of the day and giving to the new guys in town the advice of the next day. Okay, so tomorrow it's gonna be like. So growing with this event, it's a great way of life for sure. I'm proud to be on his team. I've been with him this year, the 5th time in a row. He has been 30 years, I guess, you have been in the Carrera.
31 years. This will be number 31.
31 years. So for me, it's an honor to be on this team and driving with this legend.
What class is the Oldsmobile is in a class called Turismo Mayor, which is for the big stock cars that ran in the day in the 1950s in the original Carrera Panamericana.
Mainly the characteristic for these cars is a big engine, big brakes. We're all fighting together to get to the finish line. It's not about winning, it's about getting to the finish line. It's about enjoying every turn and making these huge cars drive all the way Mexico. I think it's a total challenge for the driver itself to be able to drive this 2 tons or almost 3-ton car around Mexico with more than 500 horsepower. What do you think?
Well, what I think is that it's a team effort. It's the driver gets a lot of publicity, but it's not the driver. It's the driver, the navigator, the car, and the team that prepares it. It's 4 items, and they're all equally important. You can't go say, oh, the driver's the most important, the navigator's the most important. Everybody has to work together for success. What makes my car special is it is a 1954 Oldsmobile, which would have run in the day in the original Carrera. And across the back, it says, my Spanish is very bad, but Olds en nombre solamente. Olds in name only. And the body is Oldsmobile, some of the chassis is, but the rest of it is specialist stock car. And it's a very fast car and a very good handling car. And but it looks like a 1954 Oldsmobile, and we want to keep it like that.
It's that Hot Wheels that you dream all your childhood. It's a red car with flames in the front. It's a hot rod that you wish to drive daily. It has a beautiful engine noise. It's stunning. The gearbox kicks all your teeth out. It goes clunk, and you can feel it in your bones. So I think that's what it's mainly special in this car, that everybody knows him because you can tell from wherever you're standing watching at La Carrera that here we come. The red car with flames, Mr. Mockett driving it, making it roar until the end. We pop it all the way almost to 600 and 500 RPMs. And it's beautiful to watch all the kids crossing Mexico, and they look at the car and they go like, they get astonished. So for me, it's lovely to be a part of this legend riding car. I think the car has been all the Carreras running, if I'm not wrong.
It has been in many of the Carreras. When I bought it, it had already done 2 Carreras. So for me, it's number 31. For the car, it's number 33. Well, the goal for this year is to win, and to win overall, and to prevail. And to do that, we need to be on line right from the get-go. And we're going to do it, and we're prepared. I've got the best navigator in the world, and that makes a total difference when you can drive into a corner and knows whatever he's calling the corner, all of us, we can do it. As I was a child when this race began, and I read about it in Road and Track. The first event was in 1950, and I remember reading about it, I was 10 years old, in Road and Track magazine, and a guy named Herschel McGriff won the race. He drove it was an Oldsmobile, by the way. He drove the Oldsmobile from Portland, Oregon, where he lived, to the start of the race, drove it to the end. He won the race. He won $17,000, which was an enormous amount of money in 1950. Then he drove the car back to Portland, Oregon, and later in the year, he drove it to Darlington, South Carolina, on the far east coast of the United States, and raced in the Darlington 600 stock car race, finished 9th overall, and drove it back to Portland. So good for him.
That's quite a story.
For me, Saludos, Amigos is quite of like the spirit of La Carrera.
Well, that was on the car when I got it, but it's more than that. It means hello, friends, and I consider everybody in Mexico to be my friends, as does Manuel. We've come to know Mexico, and we know Mexico not from the tourist destinations of Acapulco or across the border from the US and Ensenada, but from the culture and the food and the hospitality all through central Mexico, which few people rarely see. I mean, we're here now in Oaxaca, and we're going across to the Gulf of Mexico, to Veracruz, and then to Mexico City. And then basically up the center of Mexico to end this year in Saltillo. And it's always fabulous meeting all these wonderful people, seeing the scenery is gorgeous, the food is to die for, the wine's not bad, and it's just a wonderful experience. And I really encourage people in the United States whose vision of Mexico is border towns and the negative news to come down and enjoy it. Mexico is a fabulous country, a fabulous bunch of people, a fabulous culture, and it's gorgeous, and it's very safe, and it's a great place.
This is our family, and it's the time that we gather together. And it's not only the organization and the pilots that we feel like a family, and we always hug, even though we're competing for the first place. We have plenty of friends that we have built upon the road. We have friends in Oaxaca that we're so happy to meet them. We have friends in Tehuacan that they're always waiting for us at the entry or at the gas station, the Nagus. We have really good friends in all of the towns that we cross by, and they turn up to be your family, and they don't turn up to be your followers. So maybe not all the years we have the chance to say hello to them and to hug them and to treat them in person, but we're always there, and they're always at the road to support us and to support La Carrera. And I think it's how the car says hello. It's the roaring and the signature in the front.
What makes this race so unique is that it's the only road race, is the only race in the world where you can race on open roads. And as you know, there are two sections. There's a transit stage where you drive at highway speeds, and you get to the beginning of a speed stage where you race a section that might be 5 miles to 20 miles long, one at a time against the clock. And that closing the roads and driving as fast as you can on these closed roads, it's just unbelievable. You can't do this anywhere else in the world. And I would encourage anybody, everybody interested in motor racing to bring a car down, read the rule book, see what you can do. But it is the best race in the world and the best week in the world. Great parties, wonderful people, and it's something that we look forward to every year.
You will be in your car for 7 days, driving more than 1,000 kilometers per day, and you will start with really twisty, narrow, and slippery sections in the woods, then getting into the rainforest kind section, then going into the sea level, and then you will drive all the way up to the north of Mexico, where you start finding the deserts and finding the speed stages where you're going flat out and making your gearbox going all the way up, and it's lovely. But especially it's the challenge for the car and the challenge for the team and the challenge for everybody to make it happen.
Well, a speed stage, what it's like to race a speed stage, it requires the ultimate concentration. You've got to concentrate on everything going on right now. You've got to listen to the navigator, what he's telling you, and you've got to look way down the road, because by the time you think it, you're there. And you've got to think ahead and drive ahead as opposed to right now. And you've got to just be totally focused and concentrate 100%. There are stages we go through, and there are people by the side of the road, but you don't even see them. You just hear a little and off you go. It, as I say, it requires the ultimate concentration. You can't ever let it lapse and think about, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? It's 100%, 110% concentration on the road right ahead, period.
Well, as a navigator, it's a nice pressure. You're pushing yourself, well, I'm pushing myself to the limit, because I tell it, to be honest, I easily get dizzy. So I have to start focusing on how to look up and being able to read the note and have the precise note in the precise moment to push his concentration to the limit And also one of my responsibilities is using my voice tone, so I can make him go a little bit faster. So it's like left 3 plus 100 meters, keep on going to left 5, and I'll keep on pushing him, giving him the tools that he needs to be focused and going fast, or also using my voice to put him down. 80 minutes, brakes. Okay, you use a lot of keywords to gain his attention, and it's a challenge. It's really nice being on the right side of the car, understanding what's going on the road without looking at it.
The most important component of the relationship between a driver and a navigator is having trust in what the navigator says is exactly what's going to happen when you get there.
I have to work on making this the best time for us, making this a competitive way to enjoy, because it's really easy in these events to frustrate or to get mad, or not every day goes as you want. So you have to work as a team to make it a great experience, even though it's not the best day in the race. So it's really nice because they have turned out to be my new family, and in the Carrera or out the Carrera, we're always talking to each other on what you're doing and how's your life going. And also inside the Carrera, I'm working to push out the best of him and also to push out the best of the team. That's what I think how we work. We have to work.
And he does a very good job in a very positive way. It's never negative, it's always positive. You know, we could do this just a little bit better, not, you really messed that up. It's always positive and what we can do to improve in the next stage or the next day or whatever. It's very, and I really appreciate that. It's a very welcome benefit.
It's growing like a team.
That's right.
Nice.
The Carrera is a rally that is composed of 2 stages, one called a transit stage, the other called a speed stage. And for example, you start off in the morning, let's say at 8 a.m., and you go through the line, and you have to be at the end of your transit stage, which would be the beginning of the day, at, let's say, 9 a.m. So you pull up at 9 a.m., not 8:59, or there's a penalty, and not 9:01, or there's a penalty. You go through at 9 a.m., and then you go to the beginning of a speed stage. The speed stage is where they close down the road, and you race one at a time against the clock on a speed stage, which might be 8 to 30 kilometers long. And then at the end of that, you would have another transit stage, another speed stage, etc. Each day would probably be about 4 speed stages in the morning, 4 in the afternoon. You end up about 5 o'clock at the next town you're spending the night in. Well, the most difficult aspect of the race is the length of it and being prepared every morning to do your best. And the most difficult aspect of it isn't for Manuel and me, it's for the crew, because we drive all day and they drive all day and work on the car, but then they're up all night repairing the car and getting it ready for the next day. So the people with the hardest job, in my opinion, are the mechanics re-preparing the car every night.
For me, the hardest aspect of La Carrera would be time. That's why I'm always wearing 2 clocks. This race is about timing and perfection. So you're always looking for calculating and understanding how much time you have to get to the next stage you have to calculate how many miles would you do with your fuel consumption, how much time you have to do for a gas stop, and if you do a gas stop, how fast would you have to drive into the next stage. So he has to be focused on driving and the aspects of the road, respecting the country and respecting the roads, whatever. But I have to be focused on getting the car on time. So sometimes I have to take him down, or sometimes I have to push him so we can make this. And then when you get into the stage, it's all about being focused. I have to think all the time about the next note and how and when am I going to put this note to him so he can use it in the best way for the car. And I truly recognize the best effort for this race is for the team. They work twice as we do, because when we're sleeping, they're working, and when we wake up, they have already left. So I would really like to applaud them, because if it wasn't for them, this would never be even possible for us. The hardest part is the funniest part. It's controlling the rush, controlling the adrenaline, and being able to get focused on what you have to do and getting on time to do what you have to do. It's all about being in a discipline and an order. That's what it is being a co-driver.
It's all enjoyable. It's a little stressful at times, but the entire event is just a joy to do and to drive and have a fabulous navigator who you have full confidence in. It's just great. It's exhausting, and by the end of the 7th day, you're kind of glad it's over, but then you look forward to it the next year immediately. It's great. It's difficult to describe. It's a combination of noise, G-forces, acceleration, braking, turning.
And heat.
I'm sorry?
And heat.
And heat. Yeah, it's very hot inside the car. And I mean, we both lose a lot of weight, even though we drink a lot of water or Gatorade during the event. It's hot, but personally, I think the noise and the acceleration and the braking are just fabulous. I love it. It is unbelievable. But then turning into some of these corners, you just turn in and it goes, and then the rear end goes and you got to grab it, and that's great. And there's a big cliff on the other side.
One day I just received a call, and it was Mr. Mockett, and I was at the office, one of those boring days at the office. And Mr. Mockett called me, and he was a personal hero to me, and he told me, hey, I was wondering if you would like to be my co-driver. And you go like, gosh, am I awake? Who's calling me now in the office? And it's been 5 years since that day, and I've been enjoying being a part of this family, every stage, and this magical car. So thanks, Mr. Mockett.
It's my pleasure. And let me add that he came very highly recommended by top rally people in Mexico as the best navigator in Mexico. And it was a pleasure, and it's been a pleasure since day one, even when I clanged the guardrail and he didn't look up. But that's okay, he's all right.